What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Project Cars 2. Now today I thought I would try and see how fast I could go around the Sonoma National Circuit with some GT3 cars. I took all the cars around the same amount of times, tried to get a good run out of all the cars, and these are the lap times that I got. So remember that I only had limited laps to do this, so I could probably go quicker with these cars, but this is how it turned out with this test. Starting off in number 16 with the Cadillac ATS-V.R GT3 with a 138.023. The Cadillac was, I was always expecting this car to be quite slow. We had the Cadillac in Project Cars 1 as DLC, and it wasn't particularly quick there. Once again here at this circuit, as I ran it, it did come last. Like I said, maybe it would change depending on who was driving it and if I got more laps, but it did here come in last place by a bit. In 15th, sadly, is the Nissan GT-R GT3 with a 137.976. I absolutely love the Nissan GT-R, and having a GT3 version of it in Project Cars 2 is awesome, but for some reason I just couldn't quite get the lap time out of this car. Now once again, with more laps and with more practice, maybe I would get it higher up the list, but this is how it turned out, so this is what it is like. So yeah, Nissan GT-R, one of my favourite cars. Really sad to see it in 15th place. In 14th is the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3 with a 137.546. I don't really like the Mercedes SLS. I never really have. I prefer the much newer Mercedes AMG, and it's not just because I don't really like the look of it. I don't mind the look of it, but it's not my favourite thing. It's also because I don't really like how it handles, and that's the case here. Personally, for me, it's not my sort of handling. It just feels a bit boat-like. I don't really like the handling of it. So yeah, Mercedes gets in 14th place. In 13th, we have the BMW M6 GT3 with a 137.525. Now this is a new one for GT3 cars. I've never driven the M6 GT3 car. It's not been in any games that I know of that I've played. So yeah, it was really nice to play it here. However, it wasn't the quickest thing. It just felt, I think from what I remember, the gearing was a little bit strange for this track. The gearing wasn't quite suited to this track, and altogether the BMW wasn't great. Next up in 12th place we have the Porsche 911 GT3 R with a 137.517. This car actually felt really quick. It was really nice handling. It probably one of my favourite cars, probably the top 3 or 4 cars to drive, I think. It was one of the nicer cars to drive, but I just don't think it quite had the speed, and I don't know, maybe it just wasn't really set up for this track properly. I will just say that the setups for the cars are completely stock. I haven't changed the setups at all. Then in 11th place we have the Ginetta G55 GT3 with a 137.507. I think this car's, I don't know if it's underpowered or what, I didn't check the power and stuff, but it does feel a little bit underpowered. Very nice around the corners, much like the Porsche actually. It's a really nice car to drive. However, it just doesn't seem to quite have the speed of the other cars. It doesn't have the aggression of a lot of the other cars. And I think, on a circuit like Sonoma, which does have quite a few fast sections, it doesn't fare too well. Coming up next in 10th is the Acura NSX GT3 with a 137.476. When I saw that the NSX GT3 car was in Project Cars 2, I was happy because I do quite like the NSX, so having the GT3 version is always good. And I do quite like this car. It drives fairly nice and does a pretty respectable time. It's all round pretty good. This is another car that I think I would have been able to get a lot more out of if I had done a few more laps, but yeah, really enjoyed the NSX. Speaking of cars that I'd be able to get more out of, in 9th we have the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 with a 137.423. I mean, the Huracan is one of my favourite GT3 cars. Definitely, looking and everything, I really do love the Huracan. It's grown on me over the years. And to see it only in 9th place is a little bit sad, I will be honest. But I mean, it's a nice car to drive, it's good. Maybe it's just not quite suited for this track. Maybe I just didn't drive it to its full potential. In 8th we have the Renault R.S.01 GT3, 137.396. I know we're going through these really quickly. I just don't want to make this video too long, so sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, the Renault was pretty good. I didn't even know this was really classified. I didn't even know this could be in the GT3 class, but apparently it is. I mean, it was okay. I'm not the biggest fan of this car. I think it's alright, but yeah, it was kind of average in my opinion to drive. Next up in 7th, the Aston Martin Vantage GT3 with a 137.381. as you can see, the times are really getting close to each other. This kind of mid pack is very, they're all very close, from like 4th place all the way up to, you know, like 14th. It's really close. But yeah, the Aston Martin was nice. It was good to drive. Actually went a bit quicker than I thought it would. I wasn't expecting it to quite be this high up, but yeah, it did very good, and it was very nice to drive. I do like the Vantage. In 6th, we have the BMW Z4 GT3 with a 137.302. Now this car was ridiculously quick in Project Cars. The first game, even though it didn't feel that quick, and in this game it is pretty damn quick as well. I wouldn't say it's, you know, because there are more cars in this game, it doesn't quite rival the top. I think it came 3rd in my Project Cars video. It comes 6th here, but the BMW Z4 is still a very good car. I do quite like it. It's just a very nice car. In 5th place is actually a bit of a surprise. The Bentley Continental GT3 with a 137.271. This car didn't feel great. I mean, it's a Bentley, it feels a bit like a boat. It's also the only GT3 car, I believe, in this game that has the steering wheel on the other side, so that was actually quite disorientating. Going from cars where the steering wheel has always been on the left, this one is on the right, that's very confusing, but yeah, the Bentley actually does a lot better than I expected. In 4th place, we have the Mercedes AMG GT3 with a 137.118. I do like the Mercedes AMG, much better in my opinion than the SLS. I mean, we see it on times. Once again, that might just be down to my driving, but yeah, I think the AMG is a better looking car. It's a better handling car, and I mean, it really shows it getting into 4th place on this list. I really do quite like this car. Not a massive fan of Mercedes, but the AMG is an exception. In 3rd place, we're getting into the last 3 now, the McLaren 650S GT3 with a 136.780. Yeah, this thing was quick. It actually didn't feel particularly nice around some corners. It was a little bit floaty. The bumps were a bit scary, but if you could hold it together, the McLaren really did fly around the circuit. I don't know, it was one of those cars that I felt like was going to go quick, but when I was driving it, I was like, maybe not, but then it got a quick time, so yeah, there we go. In 2nd place, we have the Audi R8 LMS with a 136.755. I was expecting this to be quick. It was quick in Project Cars. It's kind of one of the staple GT3 cars, the old R8, and it was very quick here, getting it to 2nd. Really nice car to drive. I do love the Audi R8. Obviously, this is the newer version of the R8, and I do quite like it. It's a good car. It drives really nice. Yeah, very deserving spot at number 2. And at number 1 is the Ferrari 488 GT3 with a 136.607. Now this Ferrari was bloody good. I really did love this. And the funny thing was, this was the first car out of all 16 that I drove. And it went the quickest, which is pretty crazy. Now this was first and McLaren was second. And yeah, I mean, nothing could beat them. They were, well, I mean, the Audi beat the McLaren, but nothing could beat this Ferrari. It was absolutely flying around the circuit, and it was really nice to drive. So there we have it, guys. That's the list for this GT3 Showdown at Sonoma. Remember, once again, that I could have gone a lot quicker with these cars. However, given the amount of laps that I set myself, and you know, given the amount of practice that I've had at this game, at this circuit with these cars, you know, that changes the order around a bit. I'm sure if you did this list, your times would be a lot different. You'd probably have cars in different positions and stuff. But personally, after doing this, this is the list that I ended up with. But anyway, that is going to be it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.